Hi, my name is Mike Cornwell. Welcome to another video. Normally I'm doing Node in Layers, which is a TypeScript Node framework, but I recently converted it to Python, and now I'm going to add ORM modeling to it. If you're interested in learning how to code better from a master level developer, that's why I do these videos. I do it also as like documentation throw out there that I can then send AI to. It'll extract information from it and learn how to actually use these frameworks really well. Um, let's go ahead and hop into it. I've got the code kind of ready to go. And what we're doing today is I have a model, or I've been recently really cleaning up this. It's called Pill right here, but what I've really called it is in layers, and it's the Python version. So normally I have Node in layers. But the framework overall is going to be called inlayers. And I created this kind of new repo from scratch. And it's got a lot of really good stuff in it. And I kind of need to do two things. I don't know how far I'm going to get on this video, but I need to move the modeling system that I've built already. And like another thing, I'm going to basically copy and paste it over and then get it working for this in a kind of an automated fashion, how the regular Node and Layers core works, which I've got right in here. And there's basically how it loads the models. Let's see, you really can't see much because we got all this cursor windows and yada yada going on. Yeah, so like this kind of stuff right in here, get models. This is kind of some tricky code, but what it does is it basically automatically loads all of the models um, for you. Um, and I'm trying to think how I want to do this for Python. Python and doing things Pythonic has been quite the learning lesson. I used to do Python way back in the day. I've since learned that I don't like Python. Not gonna lie. Never gonna BS you. It's not a not a language that I prefer, but there's some projects that I've got that have this going on. So let's go into it. I'm gonna just start copying and pasting stuff out into this models folder here. Got a different screen. Let's see, can I just do this? Let's see. Interesting. I cannot just copy paste. That's fine. Not all this code is gonna make is gonna be something we're gonna use. Select all. I will probably then also use AI to go through and see kind of what the differences are between the frameworks, because I was not intending on having these systems be different, but after going through it, I don't really think there's a choice. Okay, protocols. All right, going down here, copy. There's so many things that I found out about Python through doing this project that have really has not enthused me about this about Python. All right, so the main thing here that's going to be different here is this, like, I have these kind of hard coded backends um, for this config. That is going to go away. Um, yeah, I was calling this simple models, but I don't think okay, I am doing that. But I'm not going to call it simple models anymore because it's going right into the in layer system. Okay, so the big thing here, okay. I actually don't want. The way core works is it's separated from data. Um, the primary reason is data itself has all sorts of, it has support for all of these databases right out of the gate. I don't think I can do that within layers. Um, the other thing too is core actually does have all of these ish similar. Um, yeah, this is all good. This is going to be problematic. Um, what it needs to do is it needs to load your models so that your services can get access to them. Um, mm, that's so crazy, like redoing this because there's so much, so much code that went into making the models like pretty freaking amazing. Um, yeah, yeah. I wonder if I should create another called data. Put the models. Well, the models has these things in CRUDs, and I think Core actually has all that kind of stuff now, but it just doesn't have backends. Oh, you know what? Let me go to the layers here. I think I know what's going on. I'm trying to remember how it does this. This model getter. Hmm. I guess I would give it like just a memory backend. Um, Trying to remember. All right, so I do know. Let's go ahead and go to the config over here. It's in the types. We want to do model factory, I think it is. Yeah, this right here. We're going to need these for our config. And this is not simple models config. This is just models config. Get model props. Okay. Namespace to factory. A model to model factory namespace. Interesting. This is pretty complicated. Okay. Let's see. So this is actually a string to that. Yes, but this is a mapping. Okay. Can I do that? I don't even know if I can do that. I'm going to get rid of that for now. Yeah, typing in Python is not super impressed with it. Um, all right. So for logging. What I don't know is, here, I got to look at another system. I kind of don't remember how the actual models work in the actual services files. Where am I going to find it? Oh, I see. Context.models. It creates a models layer. Mm. What I needed to do is I needed to go and see. Oh, this also needs to be factory CRUDs. Mm, 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 mm. Trying to think in my mind. Um, okay, so when this loads, for one, I really need it to load these model factories first. Let me go to the config so I can look at it. The namespace to the domain services that has a get models prop function used for loading models. Let me look how that's done in core or in the original, because that's sitting in data right now. I think it's in services too. Yeah, get model props right here. And this instantiates the databases. So I would do the same thing where I would say, you need to do a get model props. Mm, and that's going to be, it has to be passed into here. Where's services actually? No, not that services. This one. Create model. How am I going to know how to import this? This is like, oh God, Python sucks. Um, how am I going to do this? I don't want people to have to call create model. This way of doing models actually it's a smidget nicer. It's a little smaller, a little simpler. Um, I don't really know. I guess let me play around. All right, so let's go in here real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say models.py, vim models.py, and I'm going to have stuff like, oh, it's going to have like imports and all sorts of silliness. Let's see, from typing, import, mapping, kind of doesn't really matter, class, my model. Pydantic import base model. All right. From import models. Yeah, it's going to have crap like mapping. I could do this, 4x and that. Get adder x. I gotta create this thing real quick. You know what? Why don't I just do one, stop editing through here. So this, let's do from yes. Look at that. It already knows. Okay, so what I want to do now, import models, unknown parentage. That doesn't have a net. So much. This fucking language is a hack. Attempt relative import with no known parentage. I just do this. A module name box. Got to do a virtual environment. Poetry handles all that behind the scenes, which is pretty sweet, but it doesn't have the. Ah, yes. It's complaining. Okay, so now what we're going to do is 4x ender models. And then what I want to do is if get adder x, it's let me go find this key. Simple models. I'm gonna change that. Crap. None. If at print yes, and then we'll do print x dot okay. Wow. Oh, are these strings? Is that a thing? I really need to ask AI how to do this. See, I need to be able to get these. All right, I'm going to pull up some AI off to the side here. How do I list the contents of a Python module and then certain attribute? All right, let's see what it says. Oh, geez. GPT-5 mini, for some reason, freezes on my thing like all the time. All right, regular 5.1. Oh, that's ugly. It says this import inspect. Oh, what's this? The attribute is. All right, so it's saying this right here. None of them. All right, let's get rid of this. And then we'll just do that. What? What on earth is this? Get members, objects, simple models. Yeah, when this thing when you call this, oh, I see. See it right there in the code. Clear as daylight. There it is. Okay. Well, there we go. Now the question is, could I have done that simple dir one that I did? I just put the wrong, yep, put the totally wrong thing in. Well, that didn't work. Simple model. Okay. So what I'm seeing here is let's go ahead and create a function that does this. So this is basically get model from module. Let's do get model classes from there. That's interesting. Can I do that? Nope. Look at that. It knows. No, no, no. I guess I'll do that. So now we have that. This right here I should do as a lib function. Yep, it knows. Okay. What I need to do now is I really need to go into core. Let's get AI involved. Okay. From TypeScript to Python. It is the model loading capability. What will happen is a domain gets loaded, and the first part of loading domain is looking for the we check for services. It is a services layer, then we need to load models. Is where the loading code is going to go, and then where's it is our original code. Note that if you look at libs, we have a is model class. We will do is take a look at the models attribute of a domain and see and list it and pull out the model classes. This is created via the model function. You don't need to use this. Where this gets a little complicated is how the backend works. If you look here in services, we have create model. Our services.py file was a first attempt at loading models, but we are going to replace some of its core parts with the layer approach. This is, and the backend for model part is something we are going to replace. This is the get model props part. Oh, I just realized that this doesn't work. The reason why I did all this stuff. So I have stuff like foreign keys and all sorts of stuff. Oh man. I'm just thinking how much it's like I will have to do the exact same thing that I did before. Um, I potentially could do this. Um, I'm gonna look at the README that I wrote elsewhere. Actually, I could look at an actual implementation. I just did it yesterday. Mm, the, I'm gonna give an example. Um, ah, yeah, I'm sure this is fine. Okay. Model looks like in this new framework. Python. Okay. The get model props is going to be optional in the constructor. This will allow a person creating models to use advanced features. The model getter. Let me see what's in the get model. This right here. Oh, no, that is not it. This model fetcher get model. We don't need model or fetcher. All right, here we go. Yeah, it's complaining there's a new cursor out. I'm a little behind. It's crazy how fast these things are moving. Very, very fast. Yep, now it's going to go and analyze all this stuff. There's a lot. Um, this project and converting this has been very, very humbling. Getting into the details. I mean, AI has made this so much easier. Not gonna lie. Uh, Getting into the details of how to load and do wrapping on functions in Python and getting it to work in certain contexts was just it's just painful. Like getting it to work with the fast MCP method of doing stuff really required me to modify how a lot of these internals work. It does a lot of stuff that I would not expect. Like it passes things keywords that are um, positional arguments. I don't know why it does that, but that definitely made like pulling out the cross layer properties. You know, um, it's made things difficult. But the main thing we're trying to do here is we want to be able to use pydantic models, super simple to just save data and then provide a CRUD's interface really simply because it's very simple. This CRUD's interface, this is the primary aspects of the functional model system. You know, you get your They have this metadata. I probably am going to rename all this, but then, validate, create, retrieve, update, delete, search. Very simple. I'm going with a more CRUDs focused model, or instead of like a save, save that it could be create or update. I've decided to make it a little bit more explicit. Um, there's also instance now. So instead of saying like create, you just pass in the data into here. More than likely, if you're watching this, you don't know anything about functional models, which is fine. All right, so let's see what we got here. Okay. Uh, this is not at all. Oh, okay. I'm gonna look. I think this is actually sort of correct. I'm gonna have to dig into this though. I don't 100% know that this is correct. Yep, currently are services. Iterate the candidates. Yep. This it, just this one thing here, yeah. Oh, I see. This looks incorrect. Oh no, that's how it currently works. I think I would just have to build some sort of test. Um, we could do that. This folder's not how I want it. Let's run our tests. What? Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Duh. When I do publish, I don't publish any of the development packages because why would you? That would just be bad. All right. So apparently everything still works. So now what we're going to do, right? Test layers load models and can be used in services. I just don't think that this is going to be this is correct. I just got a feeling here, right? Yeah, so this is this. Let's name the and then need to the models by a domain with the return the simple models which wraps the raw data. Big refactor we need and services.py is that we don't have a by the model factory. What is a model factory in oh, I think it actually I don't really remember. It's right here. Oh, yeah. I'm actually a bit surprised that this is showing this. This isn't, yeah, this is, the whichever domain create the models. I think it already knows this. this is an example of get this system works is it loads the databases, and then it creates this model factory create model. In our current framework, that isn't how this works. Instead, really be providing a backend. All right. Let's see what it comes up with. Should be a little bit smarter now. Yes, this is development in real time. It takes time. The good thing is we're actually we got some messes here, but it won't take long to get this up and going. Enhancing model surfaces functionality. You are not doing anything. I will say that what I need to do is I need to create my test. Okay. Yes. So then we need services. Yep. No, 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 no. Yep. What on earth is this thing doing? Can you do that? Okay. All right, I want to look at this factory thing. No backend. I like that. Yep. Okay, let's run tests. Not too surprised with some sort of issue. What is it saying? Well, not too surprised by that. Okay, let's go. Yep. I don't even know if I have Pydantic installed. I do. Is this in the libs or something? Huh. There's a lot of stuff that was going to fail. Get models. Nothing should say get models. This also should be an S. Yeah. It says it right here. My? Why the fuck does it say my? App name. Oh, right there. My domain. All right. We're getting close. Real close. Bull crap, it doesn't. Of course it does. Cannot import name backend config. Yep, I know that's all messed up. Config. Did it even check this? It did. That's wrong. Well, not necessarily. One of the things here is for the get models, we need the plural name for the all right, I can figure this out. Yep. It knows. There we go. Oh, forgot all about this capability. It should be able to do this very easily. Take the model and then get each of the properties of that model and make them a getter. Make them a getter function. To do instance.get.id, instance.get.name, and what this is going to return is a I think it's so it's like a got my all right. Now we're getting a lot closer to how the other system works. So this needs to be get what the heck is that? What? Mm, show me the code. Goodness gracious, the code, the freaking, it's so bad. TypeScript is so much better. Update the protocols and the actual implementation. There we go. This framework's coming along. Coming along. It'd be nice to bake this in here and it work. Because then I could start to do things like automatically put it out on MCPs and stuff like that. Although it's not really my intent at the moment to do that. All right. Okay. Easy enough. Has no attribute features. See what's going on here. Whoa. I must have typed that in. All right. Well, look at that. This thing actually has models now. Let's see. Let's see what we want to do here. How does it do the... document the... Yeah, I want this thing... want it to show how to do the model factory. I think I need to... got all these bugs all over my windows because it's winter time. They start to pop out, thinking it's time to go crazy. We need to refactor this get metadata thing. I don't know if I need to put the domain. I have to. Mm, okay, so there's a bunch of renaming we got to do. Can you do that? Okay, I really want to see this. I keep seeing this. This would be nice. Um, so then I can do. Um, oh no, it did dot value. Okay, that's the most sane thing I've seen in Python. That drives me crazy about JavaScript and TypeScript. +1 for Python on this one. Normally Python sucks, but I will say that that feature right there. Oh, you can't really see it. It's behind my little face. Oh, don't move that out of the way. Wonder if my face is locked or something. The general gist is that. Do I need to move that left? The general gist is that I was testing it down here. Let me see if I can pull it up. Nope, not really. You can do this thing right here, where you can use an enum, get the value, and set it inside of a dictionary. That's very, very nice. See, one thing I hate about Python is that I have to put quotes around here. Why? Why would I have to put quotes? I just want the word services. Why do I have to quote it? It doesn't make any sense. I don't have to quote this. It doesn't make any sense. There's just little stuff like this. It should all this crap should go away. And so I don't use dictionaries in Python like at all anymore because it's how many characters do I need to add? It's just so dumb. Um, this is not at all how this works. We'll then look in. Hmm, Gonna get rid of this. Model metadata, which should give you the domain. We actually really should call this model definition. Changing model factory to model backend. No. Okay, here we go. Yes. Yep. What is provider? Oh, I see. Uh, I don't know why it would need to be box. Yep. Should be this, right? Get model backend or whatever. Pretty sure. Yeah, update the README because your crap is wrong. This factory, so yeah, it'll go here. First of all, from import services, models, domain, all, oh, equals okay. Okay, what I want you to do now is what I want you to do now is if oh no, wrong protocols. Don't want to look at that. Model CRUDs is true. This is optional. What are you doing? What you do now is if model underscore CRUDs is true, then I want you to add CRUDs to the services. Do I want the features layer? Implement these config features. Somebody can do context services my domain dot cruds dot my model. True by default. The layer loading, checking what the layer is. I'm actually going to put this right here. It's like no reason for this to be function cited to do it. We actually need wrappers. Want the interface to look like create, retrieve, update, delete, search. Basically, it removes all the model stuff from it. Services.mydomain.cruds. There we go. And that's the last of my little Mexican mocha coffee. We're really close. Yep. I'm looking at what it's doing, and it's, you know, this right here. That's definitely the way they should do it. We want to wrapper it. We want to decouple that when you're not dealing with a model, you're dealing with just the data. I don't want the model stuff to kind of float along. If you need the model, you can get it. You can get the model definition or even the model itself, but let's see here. Yeah. Oh God, no. Come on, man. I'm going to run into complexity limitations. Create a class functions outside of this nested function. Come on. Let's take sweet, sweet time. I don't think it understood that it's gonna get PP whacked by all these functions. Lint it. What is it complaining about? Undefined model made it metadata. Yeah, get rid of all this. Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need this. Unnamed argument self. What? Oh. Can't remember if that's what it is. No qua. Yep, same problem there. Config. $14 errors. Man, they just keep coming. Oh my gosh. Okay. I agree. I actually really don't like these just random try-catch craps. Yeah, too complex, too complex. Too many branches. Too complex, too many statements. Do you want to test? Core models? It's right there. To split them out. Oh man. This code is really complicated. I'm not gonna lie, but that's why. I mean, that's why I built this. I mean, this is the kind of stuff like doing dependency injection is a pain in the ass, and I tried to make this in such a way that is not so magical, that it's very predictable of what happens and the structure of loading things, so that if you want to know what's getting loaded, you look at the domains that come first, you look at the layers, and it just goes, and it takes the stuff that's across those layers. So the right layers don't have the wrong stuff in it, or the layers have the right things in them and they don't see the things that they don't need to see. Like, so services should never be able to call features ever. Just never, 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 never. That's just not what a service does. A service is something that like reaches out and touches stuff. A features weaves things together. There's no reason for services to call a feature. And if you needed to call a feature from a service, something like that, one, you should re-architect so that your feature calls a feature. But then two, your service, maybe it needs to call on the command line to call an application that would then call a feature. That would be a valid use of a service, or call like a REST endpoint and come back. In the case if you were doing microservices. But even then, I maybe would wrap that up into like a services client and then call it from the features. The features is where all the stuff like the A, B, C, D happens, and then just these other ones just fired out to go and touch the command line. That's where the models come into play. Okay. Let's check our lint. Still have a bunch of broken stuff. Still too complex, too many branches. Ooh, that load layer is nasty. I think they added but didn't remove. We're getting close. Yeah, I mean like 17 branches. That's just ridiculous. I want to look at this. If, for, if, so many. Hmm. Yeah, like this is borderline copy paste code right here. Need to keep going. I guess while it's working on this, I think what I need to do is I need to go in and clean up some stuff like this config. This actually needs to make its way into this. See, somebody's messaging me real quick. No. Okay. Still working away. All right, the big thing, I think we got to pull this out. I think I'm going to get rid of this concept for now. I don't think it's actually very helpful. Where's like the proper? Yep, right there. I don't know what this thing is doing. It's actually gone backwards. I want you to look at the config here. Where's it at? Protocols? I added the models. Layer load. Okay, so this is going to be don't worry about that. Another domain has to go here. Oh, a box with lambdas. That's really cool. All right, now it's going back to working on that. What is this? Create. Let's do create. Instead of doing this, I kind of don't care. We do need the actually do need that. What we'll do is wow, that's so crazy that it actually knows what's going on. Yeah, it's doing the no op. All right. Let me see here. We're at 147 now on this video. I think once I get this working, we'll probably call it good because we're at that point. The issue is right now is that it is not finding our model backend. Um, uh, the latest test. Testing the swapping out the backends. This example is I think it's somewhere where it identifies, it takes the another domain, for the model backend here and models. Where is it? This is in features right here. Here, let me close all this. Sure. I don't need this anymore. Okay. Oh, of course it is. Weird. Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Think I'm going to call it right there. You saw here. This is kind of a chunky one. Moving these things over. There's still a little bit to clean up here. I'll go and take care of that on my own. But you saw that, we didn't have our models. We had some kind of usable code that worked differently than the actual node and layers framework works. So this works a lot closer to the way that it works. Because it's using pydantic models rather than functional models, it works a little bit differently. But the most important part is really that CRUD's interface at the services and features level. So now that that is in there, we have this means of basically injecting a backend. So that works a little bit differently than the node and layers system, which is fine because that's how it actually goes about building the models is just completely different. It's way better, way better than some sort of pydantic approach. But this is simple, gets it right out. And so later, if I want to go into being able to build like more robust models and stuff like that, I could do that. I would just go and change this. I'd have to do the get model props and stuff like that. But in the meantime, this can now build those models. And I think what I'm going to do, probably for my next video, is I'll do an in layers data, and I'll do just like the other one where I will put in a bunch of implementations for different databases because I kind of need that right now. I really need DynamoDB, MongoDB would be good, and that's probably it for now. And so if I do that, it'll be in a really good spot that somebody could pull down in layers core, in layers data, and then be up and data modeling and then flowing it all the way up into like an MCP layer, like that. Super quick and easy. That's the whole point of this. Like stop with the boilerplate and all that kind of nonsense. Um, Although, I think about it and it's like I already know for the I'm looking at the code real quick. I already know for the features layer, I'm gonna have to come back in here and update. I don't even know how, because I went and solved these problems with node and layers of how to annotate what the model is. Um, Trying to think. There's got to be a way. I'll figure that out another time. Basically, I can already see that if I wanted to flow this up to an MCP layer like fast MCP, it like automatically builds the open API specs for the data that goes in there. So these CRUDs would be exposed, but I don't think it would know actually what to inject and then therefore what to create as the open API thing. So I don't have to go in there, do some injections and stuff, and I'm sure it involves this. But in the meantime, if you got any questions, comments, put it down if you like this. Subscribe if you want to see these videos come out, and using this library. And if you want to contribute, maybe I should put this all the way at the beginning. If you want to contribute, get in touch with me. I'd love to have additional people come in here and make this code base much better, much more feature rich, and help get enterprise development way out there in the sticks. So next time, I'll see you.